Hello all, I'm Josh, this is Josh Build Stuff, and today the stuff we built is this new LEGO Technic Ferrari SF-24 Formula 1 Technic 1/8 scale Formula 1 car. This car was released in March 2025 and contains almost 1,500 pieces and costs almost $230. Ferrari SF-24 obviously stands for Ferrari Scuba Diver Ferrari 24, the 24 obviously being the ideal age at which one can truly appreciate a red Ferrari sports car. The car, the keen-eyed of you will notice, bears a striking resemblance to Ferrari's Formula 1 car from the 2024 season, driven by Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, whereas I'm driven by spite and father issues. According to some other LEGO reviewers, if only the best is good enough was a good enough slogan to follow, LEGO would have done a lot of things very differently when designing this model. But I try not to listen to reviewers, and you should do the same, present company included. You'll see why soon. Let's get this thing rolling. I know, I'm old, so I'm supposed to like Technic, but this build was a little tedious, so I would really spread this build out. Not literally, you won't be able to reach all of the pieces. I mean, spread it out over a few days. Give those fingertips a rest. Sorry to spoil your suspension of disbelief, but the suspension was a pain, if you can believe it. The engine and transmission got my gears going, but I'm afraid they transmitted a hurt finger ailment, so be sure to protect yourself. The floor was a new low even for this build, but that is to be expected. The bodywork was fairly straightforward, but was also a little bit sideways and a little top to bottom. And spoiler alert, you'll spend more time stickering your spoiler than you will sticking it to the car. The front wing and nose were a little runny, but I guess that's the nature of building with all of these snot techniques. Slap on the engine cover and wheels, and we can finally get this thing rolling. Again. This is an 18+ set review, so things might get spicy, though I will try to keep the wisdom sage, and I will respect your time. Also, pepper water makes fish sneeze. Speaking of, sorry for the harsh language, but golly gee, I think this build looks swell as a finished product. Some people say they need to design more custom pieces. Some people say all kinds of other things about this set. I personally think it looks great with the pieces that were used to construct it. This is the third model in the big old F1 car catalog, which admittedly needs a catchier name, but I think this build is an improvement over the McLaren and Mercedes, and how it compares to the Red Bull, well, we'll find out soon. This car has 4 tires, 2 in the front and 2 in the rear, though you'll notice they are all identical, which is inaccurate, which means LEGO is lazy if you care about that sort of thing. If you didn't notice or don't care, you may just be glad to have new custom printed Pirelli tires, which I am. I'm also angry that they're not the different widths though. Speaking of not caring, this car isn't the right color, but I don't care, okay? I don't. It should be a little bit darker. And speaking of manufactured rage, I'm especially pleased with the pronounced side pods, pronounced seed poods, I believe. That's one characteristic of the Ferrari that really stands out. Like out from the side of the car. Also, no F1 car would be complete without that big front and rear wing. Literally. 59 stickers give the bodywork that extra bit of pop, or soda if you're not from the Midwest, and don't worry, if you don't like stickers, you're not alone. I'm standing right behind you. Speaking of standing, small details really stand out on this car, like these little curved pieces used as mirrors. But by that logic, there are also little mirrors integrated into the nose of the car, a bunch of mirrors over the air intake, and even some mirrors on the floor of this car. Shiny. There's also a hockey stick that serves as an exhaust, which I believe is a tribute to Carlos Sainz's true favorite sport, hockey, which he hopes to pursue after he realizes that Williams once again is not going to be a contender in 2025. Sorry, Carlos. This set has no minifigures, and I picked the wrong day to stop reusing review templates. This car has working steering controlled from a gear on top of the camera mount, which explains why modern F1 drivers need such long arms these days. If this is the same steering mechanism used in previous F1 cars, I can't tell. Sorry, I'm sworn to secrecy. A newly designed engine block uses the oldly designed cylinder mechanisms, which do go up and down as the drivetrain goes around and the green grass grows all around, all around. A 6-cylinder engine sure sounds impressive until you realize your 2018 Dodge Grand Caravan uses the same number of cylinders. Check your own car, you might be surprised. Something we haven't seen on these previous F1 Technic cars is a working transmission, which is something you'll only see on this car if you remove the detachable engine cover. Unfortunately, it's only a 2-speed gearbox, which I'm fairly certain is fewer than those on the real car, but correct me in the comments if your fingers aren't too hurt from assembling this set. LEGO also notes that the MGH-U is visible somewhere in this region of the car. Obviously, this is the turbocharger shaft-mounted heat energy recovery system, or MGH.U for short, which is obviously one of the most effective performance differentiating systems on board the Formula One power unit. It uses exhaust gas entropy. The heat remaining in the exhaust gas is a function of its temperature, expansion, and mass flow rate to spin the turbine during the energy recovery phase, converting the energy from the exhaust gases into electrical energy. Obviously. Cool that LEGO was able to include that, apparently. Also, certainly a play feature to my 2-year-old is the push and pull rod suspension at the front and rear of the car respectively. That's her words, not mine. Also her words, semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. That was when she hammered on my keyboard while the script document was open on my computer. It's difficult for me to demonstrate that suspension without breaking my table, but hey, maybe with a few more clicks on those affiliate links in the description below, I'll finally be able to afford a good table for making reviews. You may be asking, Josh, I can only afford one of these big Technic F1 cars. Which one should I get between this and the new Red Bull? Well, you're an adult. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. And if you're not an adult, you should ask your parent before logging online. But if you're honestly asking between the Ferrari and Red Bull released at the same time, I can't give you a real answer. I haven't finished building the Red Bull yet. Please do leave a like and a comment on this video if you've enjoyed any part of this review, and please don't if you didn't. That's what the thumbs down icon is for. I'm off to finish building that Red Bull and to try to come up with a completely new set of puns for what is ostensibly the exact same LEGO set. If you're thinking, Josh, you're about to put yourself and all of us through all of this once again, surely you can't be serious. I am, and don't call me Shirley. I'll see you next time.